Hi, welcome to Growing Homemakers. My name is Sarah. We are finishing week 8. So for us, this is the last week of the Pantry Challenge. And what you're going to see is the recording of the meals that we did this week. Now, we had a lot of leftovers. So we actually only made a few meals from scratch this week. And also, we had a church function on Sunday, and there was a potluck after that. So Sunday and Monday night were really just leftovers from the church function. Sadly, we did not record any of that. Maybe in the next week or two, in one of our videos of just what's going on around the homestead, Mom will make her salad again that we took or that she took, and record that so we can share it with you. It's a salad. Everybody loves it. She makes the dressing. It's a winter. She calls it a, yeah. So Dave made it because my mom has her stitches in her hand still from her surgery. So she's still very limited on what she can and cannot do. But it is a delicious salad. It's got a lemon poppy seed dressing that we make, or she makes from scratch. We don't do a store-bought dressing. So maybe we'll get her to make that and record it so you guys can see the salad made.
We'll definitely do that.
Also, I brought sourdough bread, so you guys have seen that a lot. I did make the buttermilk sourdough again. We're really liking that, and it's a good way to get rid of what is produced when we make butter. So that is what I have been doing. And then Dave brought his bean and cowboy beans. And so really the last 2 or 3 days, that's what we've been eating, is that leftover stuff. And then at the end of this video, Mom, Dad, and I are going to have a little sit down powwow, talk about how successful we feel like we were for the whole thing, and what we want to do going forward to not bring all that store-bought stuff back into our house, and to utilize all of our canned items that we've been working really hard to can from stuff from our garden. So with that being said, here are the videos for our meals this week. So Pantry Challenge. Tonight was just leftovers. I think Dad recorded something about how we did potatoes with our taco meat and everything instead. But I also made sourdough. Now, I tried a different sourdough recipe this time. I will link it in the description below. I made it with mostly buttermilk instead of any water to it because we had half a gallon of buttermilk from all the cheese both Mom and I have been making. And the loaves actually look really good. They turned out, we haven't tried them, just pulled them out of the oven, so they're going to cool. So I'll do a separate recording about how they taste later. But so far, so good. They look pretty good, and we are happy with them so far. Tonight's dinner is a fend for yourself. So husband and I are having our own dinner, and Mom and Dave had theirs. I believe they had leftovers, the pork and cauliflower that was left over. And husband and I are having, so I'm having the egg salad my mom made today, my mom and dad made, with that buttermilk sourdough bread that I made yesterday, and just a couple slices of cheese. And my husband is having a grilled cheese. Now you can see the buttermilk sourdough bread is actually almost more like a regular bread. Now it still has the little bit of holes and aeration in it, but it's a lot firmer. My mom and dad and I and my husband and I really love it, but it is definitely a little different because of that addition of fat into it. I'm going to try and make it a little differently next time because this recipe actually calls for you to bulk ferment your sourdough and then just put it in the freezer right away while you're heating your Dutch oven in the oven, while you're preheating everything. So I think I'm going to actually try and put it in the refrigerator next time and give it 8 to 12 hours and see what we get with that. If maybe it's a little more sourdoughy. I don't know how else to describe it. But anyways, this is tonight's Pantry Challenge dinner.
Okay, tonight's
Pantry Challenge dinner. Maria made stroganoff. It's got our freeze-dried onions, freeze-dried mushrooms, roast from last year's beef, beef broth that we canned, and various spices and stuff. Sour cream that was not from us, unfortunately, but we had to put sour cream in it. And we're doing
freeze-dried onions.
We are doing steamed broccoli, and then we're doing the last of our noodles out of our pantry. So hopefully we'll start making our own noodles. So it's pretty close. Well, we have some shells, but it's pretty close. So
also
that's it.
Freeze-dried onions in there.
I said that. So that's it. That's our pantry challenge meal.
Yeah.
Tonight's dinner for the Pantry Challenge is leftovers. We're doing a fend for yourself. Mom and Dave, I believe, had the leftover. Why can't I think of the name of it? What did we have for dinner last night? Oh, Mom and Dave had the leftover beef stroganoff, and we're having the leftover taco meat. So we have taco meat, the pepper jack cheese I got from Azure, the leftover diced tomatoes with chilies, some sour cream, onion and cilantro, and then I have some sourdough bread I can slice up to scoop it all up with. And that is what we are having tonight for the Pantry Challenge. I believe we have 2 nights left, and then we will be done with the Pantry Challenge. So this is dinner. Finished with our very first Pantry Challenge on the homestead that we've done on our multi-generational homestead. So how do you guys feel?
I like what we did, and I think now that we've, like our pasta cabinet, that when we started this 2 months ago, our pasta cabinet was full. I mean, there was packages of pasta, and now we're down to a couple of little packages of penny pasta, which we got to look at and see if they're even any good. There's a package of orzo and a package of arboreal rice, right?
Yep, to make...
So I think we should keep using that stuff, but really we used up a really good portion of store-bought, heavily processed foods. So that, I thought, was the goal of this.
Now we have...
We didn't really have a lot
Well, we had
of processed foods.
macaroni and
With
cheese.
some macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, my house was more processed.
Yeah,
than
we
what's
used
over
more
here.
stuff.
Part of the problem is we have not found a pasta maker. I think Mom has 2 of them, and we haven't found them. Now, I don't know if we'll ever be able to give up like the rotini or the masticholi or,
It's hard when you're doing something like that.
Making those. I don't even know if that's possible on a homemade scale. But like spaghetti and lasagna noodles or any type of flat pasta.
Yeah, that should be easy enough to make.
Yeah, if we wanted to do raviolis or something like that, we've done that homemade, so we can do that.
Yeah.
We've been pretty good about making bread, although with my hand, I haven't been able to make bread, so we did break down this past week and bought 2 loaves of bread, but that won't happen anymore.
I have not been able to keep up making sourdough with how much bread they eat.
We do like our bread, which is why we put on our winter weight and are going to have to figure out how to take it off now.
I need to join Bread Eaters Anonymous.
Right. We do like our bread. And with homemade butter, man, that is yummy. We haven't tried, and this is something we want to do from now on that Sarah and I have talked about, is making bread products. Like I used to make English muffins, so I want to make English muffins. We both want to try making tortillas, corn and flour tortillas, so we're going to do that.
Hot dog and hamburger buns. Shouldn't be
buns. So if anybody's got a good fluffy bun recipe, that would be great.
Yeah, I already make great biscuits, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, he makes biscuits, and what else? That's all I can think of right now. I mean, we could try making bagels.
Yeah, if you could make bagels as good as your sourdough bread, I would be a fat and happy man.
I mean, if you're thinking about like starch or carb, it'd be carbs. Obviously, we already make our own cookies. We make our own brownies if we're going to eat them. We make
Yeah, all that
Unless
stuff.
you impulse buy at
Not
the
always,
store,
but,
yeah, which
yeah.
is what we're trying to avoid doing. But yeah, I think it's bread product, the tortillas, English muffins, bagels, which we don't eat a lot of, but probably
Yeah, a lot of it's just the homemade bread, slicing the sourdough bread and eating way too much of that. Making egg salad because we love egg salad. Well, what are you going to eat it on? You're going to eat it on a sandwich.
yeah,
Breakfast sandwiches in the morning, and it's always, I mean,
Well, it could be English muffins
Yeah.
or bread, so that's why we'll start making that on our own. We don't buy English muffins. We kind of go through spurts where we buy them a lot and then we stop buying them.
and I buy them a lot because I make David his breakfast sandwiches and he takes those to work. But also tortillas. That's something I usually do breakfast burritos for him as well. But he also likes to have tortillas in the house. So, like, if he comes home and it's been a busy day and we haven't made dinner, and I'm like, what do you want for dinner? I can usually make him a quick quesadilla with some form of leftover meat on it. But I don't know homemade tortillas, how long they last. So, that's going to be an experiment
Right.
on.
and how well they freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if you
thought
can
that.
make the dough or the masa and keep that in the refrigerator and then just press them out if you need them. I don't know.
Yeah, if they're
Yes.
2 ingredients or 3
Yeah,
ingredients,
it's
how
something
long
we
would
need
they
to
last?
figure out.
Yeah.
So, but really, I think it was a pretty successful pantry challenge.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen us use more of our canned products, not canned stuff that we got from the store. Although I do still have some of that left, but not very much. But the products that we canned over the season. But
One of the most exciting meals for me was Sarah's turkey bake thing that she made, because it was the canned turkey that you guys worked so hard to can
In
after
the first year
Thanksgiving.
that we've ever canned
Yep.
a meat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that for me, that was one of the best meals that we did to try
Yeah.
and see if we could be self-sustaining, and that goes a long way to being self-sustaining, and that's what our goal is.
yeah, one of the things for me is we have a lot of fruit. We have a lot of canned fruit, and so I would like to use that up somehow, whether it be making pies or whatever.
And
But
we're not big. We eat a crud ton of bread,
yeah,
but you really don't hear about, like, maybe there was once or twice in this 8 weeks where there was a dessert at any point in time.
Yeah,
well,
what-
I made
Yeah,
a few
with
peanut
meals.
butter pies to use up my graham crackers. Well, not
Yeah.
just to use them up because I love peanut butter pie.
Um,
And this is why I have winter weight.
Yeah, because what did we make? We made an apple crisp once, right? Did we make the apple crisp during this challenge, or was it before then?
I don't know.
I
I know
think
we
we-
did Mom's peanut butter pie once.
We did pears once. Opened a jar of pears,
Yeah, but I think that was just like a snack in the morning or
and
something.
it didn't
Yeah.
last. And the problem with that is the girls jarred these pears, and they are so good. A quart jar gets opened and it's gone. I mean, we have no self-control. There is no self-control when it comes to stuff like that. They're so yummy.
You see, and they're
So-
hard for us to use at our house.
Yeah.
Because they have sugar in them, you have to can them in a syrup. And I try and limit what Jack gets sugar-wise. So, like, he might get 2 pears. But I
Yeah.
try not to give him more than that.
Oh yeah, because he runs around
Well,
like
and
a little maniac.
I think we have a jar of pears and a jar of cherries open in the refrigerator, and I don't know if they're still good. I'll have to find out.
Yeah.
See, our jar of pears that I've had open for a long time are fine. Like, I do cottage cheese in the morning with Jack. I never used to like cottage cheese, but I got him starting it. And so I'll use, like, if I have canned pineapple, now I'm out of that, I believe, in our pantry. So now I will be going to
The cherries and
the not store-bought canned, but our canned,
yeah.
to use that and mix into the cottage cheese. Yeah, so he'll get some sugar, I'll add it in there, a little bit of syrup.
And if those cherries are good, and I hope they still are, if the cherries are still good, they're going to get mixed in the latest batch of yogurt, which got made yesterday.
Yeah, and I think part of it is we're like using up our jams and jellies. And Sarah started we made pickled sweet onions that are really good, and Sarah really likes those, and she kind of uses it as a jam.
Yeah, I put on the cream cheese
Yeah.
and sourdough bread.
And that is good.
Yeah.
So once those are gone, I think we'll probably go to the zucchini relish, which could also be used on cream cheese, anything with cream cheese on it, and zucchini relish. And I don't know what else. The only thing I can think of is like hot dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe on a
hamburgers.
hamburger.
Yeah.
But we don't eat those that much. So that's why that's still sitting there.
And I think we really should try to continue to be as self-aware as we can as it comes to our recipes. Now, tonight we cheated. Of course, tonight on top of having leftovers the last few days, we ordered pizza tonight. But we were in Arkansas all day at a cheese making class.
Yeah, we went to a mozzarella cheese making class. Even though I make mozzarella, I've had some inconsistencies, and I wanted to see if I could figure out what those were. And they make mozzarella completely different than any recipes I've ever seen, and I'll go over that with you guys sometime. But so they actually told me I could probably teach the class, that my mozzarella turned out better than anybody's. So that was kind of funny. That made me feel good, but I want to figure out,
we want to figure out why it's not consistent.
But anyways, so for me, I would like to use more of the stuff that's canned, that's in our pantry. And I've suggested, going back to the meal planning, and I'm hoping that maybe we'll do that. And, meal planning doesn't have to be hard and fast. You can do your meal planning, make sure you have all the ingredients for it, start out with stuff that you have that's canned as your base. And then if you have to buy some products to go along with it, if you feel you need those, you can, but at least you're using a lot of those products that you have in your pantry. And then if something comes along, like you had too much food the night before and you have a lot of leftovers, you just push that next meal to the next day or 2 days down the road or something. So it can be kind of a loose meal planning,
And with summer coming and the busy, I feel like also utilizing our canned stuff. I want to get better at doing like one pan, throw a bunch of stuff in it, cook it up, and it be done in 30 minutes. Like
quick meals.
And we're going to get to the point where we're doing quick crock pot meals, Instapot meals, where I'm throwing like the best thing that I've discovered is recipes to do whole pork roasts and whole beef roasts from frozen.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that you gotta, take the beef roast out the day before and let it sit and let it thaw. The last beef roast I did turned out near perfect, and it went in a crock pot 100% frozen, like a block of ice.
Are you talking about the stroganoff? The beef
the stroganoff was good. I wasn't talking about that. The pork roast was good, and that beef roast I did that we turned into pulled beef, that we turned into like Italian beef.
So if you forget to pull your meat out of the freezer to throw in the crock pot, don't worry about it. Just throw it in there anyways.
Throw it in there frozen.
Yep.
Throw it in there frozen on what, low?
Well, Dave will do it.
10 hours. I'm going to do a video because I'm going to make an Italian beef again. Unfortunately, we're out of our homemade giardiniera, but I'll do an Italian beef with a store-bought giardiniera that anybody can make. You can buy the giardiniera. Anybody can make this Italian beef recipe. It turns out perfect. It pulls apart and is super tender, and I'll do that.
Yeah.
The next time we do one, I'll make sure to video it so people can see it. It's foolproof. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
And Sarah and I won't eat the meat if it's not super tender.
Yeah.
Right.
We are quite picky. I have to say she's a little more picky than I am when it comes to the fat on the meat. But
which is hard on the homestead when you're trying to use everything. But I can't handle. I pick the vein. Like if I am processing the chicken breast, like for dinner, and I'm chopping it up or whatever, I will dig that vein out that runs through the chicken breast if I come across it. I can't.
Which is fine. I appreciate that. I don't necessarily like that either. There's some fat, like some beef fat that just melts in your mouth that I can handle. So, and pork fat too. But I am pretty picky about it.
And I'm picky. I picky up the meat with my fork and I put it in my mouth. That's how picky I am.
Any meat that Sarah and I won't eat,
We
we
just
give
dump
to
it on
him.
his plate. Yeah.
He'll eat it. So,
Yeah.
but usually putting it in the crock pot makes it very tender the way he's been doing it. So look for that video that he can show you.
Yeah. So I think overall, we'll call it a success. I got rid of a lot of the store-bought stuff out of my pantry, which is what I was looking to do. And we will probably post videos and show our journey of us learning how to make all the bread items.
Mm-hmm.
So watch for that. Us
Pasta
getting
items, things like that.
us getting kind of familiarized and finding recipes that work for us.
I have to find my own English muffin, my old English muffin recipe.
It's time consuming.
That is, yeah.
It is
And
very
we're coming into garden
time-consuming.
season. I mean, we're at the point now where, Sarah, how many trays of plants do you have? Starter plants for the farmer's market?
No, well, that's only all my cold weather stuff.
So you've got all your cold. I mean, we're coming into farmer's market season and we're going to be super busy. I mean, I have pig pens and a barn to put up. I've got 1.5 miles a fence to put up. There'll be videos on that. Ground to level. We have a hoop house that we've got to get put up, a high tunnel.
Yeah, I think right now I just in the stuff I've planted upward, whatever 20 times 30 is, that's just our cold weather stuff. So that
We
does,
have peppers too.
no, but that's what I have. That's what I'm saying. So whatever 20 times 30 is, what is that? 500. So we have
600.
just 600. We have 600 cold weather plants right now: brassica, bok choy, cabbage, cauliflower. That does not count all the herbs we planted, all the flowers, all of the peppers, all of the tomatoes I'm about to start.
And she says but realistically,
Yeah, she did them
she's
all
been
this
working
year
her
so
tail
far.
off trying to get this done and get
Yep.
this set up so we can be ready to go. So
the
now,
garden, yeah.
so meal videos are going to kind of take second fiddle to trying to get this farm in shape for spring because we're running out of time.
Yeah, and I think that'll be. That'll be another video. Cut that out.
Cat hair? Dog hair?
I don't know what it was. That'll be another video though. We will sit down. We have to get together though. We will sit down and kind of give you guys what is going to take precedent in the homestead this year. Certain things that absolutely have to get done this year. The have to list, the would like to list,
Well, the big one is somebody's getting a house built. So
yeah. So
but to wrap this video up, I really think Sarah's right. I think this was a success.
Mm-hmm.
yep.
I like the fact, and I was the guy at the very beginning of this that went, oh, come on, really? But I was gung-ho on it after we got started because I realized, hey, we can get rid of a lot of the stuff that doesn't get eaten.
Yeah.
And I am really happy that we did it.
Yeah. And like a homemade mac and cheese, really, you guys saw me make one from scratch on one of our Fend for Ourselves nights. It really isn't that hard at all.
And you make it how you like it. So it doesn't, you don't have to have a set recipe.
Came together just as quick as a box of macaroni and cheese would come together. So yeah. So
that's fantastic.
yeah. So we will be doing it again next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
And I think for
Hopefully
the most
we
part,
won't accumulate a whole bunch of store-bought
You
stuff.
see, now that'll be maybe what we
mainly-
might have to do is watch this. We'll have to sit down and watch this video next year before we start the Pantry
Right.
Challenge and go, okay, let's go through the cabinets and see what we did to ourselves over the past year. Did we go and buy a bunch of garbage?
like
Did we
how
go-
good were we?
How good were we? Did we buy a bunch of processed stuff because we weren't paying attention and it was out of sight, out of mind?
Right.
Yeah. And it's easy when you're so busy and you're going to the grocery store and you're like, oh, they have macaroni and cheese on sale. Oh, they have box of this on sale.
Especially, we have a discount grocery store close to us, and that's our downfall. We go in there and things are on the shelf. That's normally
Taco shells.
Yeah, it's a
and
$3 or $4 box of
boxes of
something,
graham
and it's
cracker
50
crumbs.
cents.
Yeah, stuff like that.
It's
So-
hard
It
to
is
avoid
possible
that.
to make your own graham crackers, but that's a whole nother video. So yeah.
Well, we still bought diced tomatoes and
But we were
what was
out.
that? But they were organic diced tomatoes
And we
for
were
like
out in our canned stuff. We had no diced tomatoes this year, and we ran out of tomato sauce because we thought we had enough. So that
And we
was
didn't.
stuff like we had to get because we just didn't have it on the pantry.
And we happened
Yeah.
to find 32-ounce cans for like $1 a can or some crazy amount.
price
And
for
they're
organic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We couldn't
couldn't-
resist that. So
But anyway, so it was a success. We will do it again, and stay tuned for our other videos. And don't forget to like, subscribe,
And
share.
Thank you for
And keep following. Hit the note. There's a notification button somewhere.
Tell your
there.
friends.
it's down at the bottom.
Somewhere, yeah, at the bottom there. Do that so that you can get notifications
Like
for us
it.
when.
These professional YouTubers go, yeah, it's up there in the corner.
You
I
can
have
tell
no,
we're not
I have
very
no idea
professional.
where it is. I'm clueless.
I give people a lot of credit for doing some really good videos. We are still in the beginning stages
but we're
of
getting
this.
better.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching. My name's Sarah.
I'm Maria.
And I'm Dave.
And I do have a husband, but he's not usually part of all these things. So,
Thanks
He
for
don't
watching
care.
Growing Home Acres.
and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.